Here we go. All right. So maybe with a blanket, maybe with a block. No rush, no hurry. We'll make our way over to the mat. And today, if it's comfortable, we'll be starting off on the belly. So if it's not comfy, that's okay. You're welcome to rest on your back or on your side. But if you are comfy on the belly, go ahead and make your way down. When you get there, if things feel cranky, you can bend the knees and give the heels a little rock side to side. And just notice if it feels like anything else needs a little motion, if your arms need a stretch, or if it feels good just to rest your head on your arms. Just choosing what feels best. And then start to notice your breath. Notice how it feels to breathe when you're here on the mat. Notice what feels like it expands when you inhale. Does it feel like it's the rib cage, your belly, or your back? Your lungs actually take up a lot of space in the back body. And so the idea of breathing into the back and toward the low back can be helpful. And you're welcome just to stay here and rest if it feels good. This is a place you can come back to at any point during class. Remembering that the goal is to keep things where they're comfortable and doable. Or if it feels like the body's ready for a little movement, we'll start with the hands stacked on top of each other, resting in under the forehead. You can turn the head a little side to side to give your eyebrow area a little massage. And then when you find an inhale, go ahead and curl the head and elbows up. Exhale, gently lower them down. Inhale, curling head and elbows up. Exhale down. One more like that. Inhale, gently curling up. Exhale, releasing down. And noticing if the back felt tired from that. If it did, bend the knees, get the heels a little back. And then explore what happens if you reach one leg back long and squeeze the other heel in toward your hip. And if you rock a little here, you just notice how that feels. And then you may even try reaching the arm back on the same side to see if you can find the foot or pants leg. And if you don't worry, you can just reach without connecting. Or if you do connect, you may take a moment to press the foot into the hand, finding a little half bow pose. When you exhale, soften it down, letting the shoulders sink to the mat. When you inhale, you might press and lift. Exhale to soften down. One more, inhale, press and lift. Maybe pausing on the last one if it feels good to be here. Taking a deep breath. And then with the exhale, settle back to the belly, release the foot. And you can either rock that heel a little side to side, or maybe that leg is ready to stretch out long now. Taking a breath here, and you might wiggle the hips a little side to side. Kind of funny, but that can help to realign the SI joints. And then when you're ready, we'll bend the other knee, taking the heel in toward the hip. making it a little rock first. Seeing how that feels. When you're ready, maybe reaching the arm back. And we might just stay here, resting on the belly, reaching back. Or if it feels good, you can go ahead and reach for the ankle. And as you inhale, pressing to lift. As you exhale, settling down. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, releasing down. One more. Inhale, press and lift. Holding if you like, if it's comfy. Try to reach up through the top of the head versus lifting the chin high. As you exhale, release down to the belly. See if it feels good to rock that heel a little side to side or reach the leg back. Maybe taking a little rock for the hips. And breathing here, noticing if the breath can fill the back. So these shapes on the belly, sometimes they don't feel very comfortable because they're the opposite shape that most of us spend a lot of our day in. They're the opposite shapes of sitting or rounding forward. And this next one falls into that category too. We're moving toward locust pose. And so if it doesn't feel good, it's okay to keep this very gentle. Laying down your rest at any point. We'll take the hands back by the hips as you inhale, curl the head and shoulders up. Maybe lifting the hands, and then try not to lift the chin, which I know is tricky if you're looking at the screen, but try to keep the neck in neutral, reaching up through the top of the head, the crown of the head. Exhale, release it down. Feel free to bend the knees and rock a little. And then we'll explore the second half of locust pose, which is lifting the legs. So reaching them back long. The most gentle way to do this is one leg at a time. As you inhale, floating one heel up. Exhale it down. Inhale, float the other leg. And exhale down. You can stay with that. Or inhale, try lifting both legs. Can you breathe when you're here? Can you lengthen out through the big toes? As you exhale, gently release down. If it feels good to bend and rock, go right ahead. And then we'll explore putting these two together. Send the legs back long. As you inhale, curl and lift head and shoulders, legs if it's comfy. Keep reaching through the crown of the head. Maybe clasp the hands behind the back if that's comfy. And with the exhale, soften it all the way down. And just release into the mat. Feel free to rest head on the hands if that feels best. And to take any movement, bending and rocking as you need. Then when you're ready, take a little pause here, just notice. Are there any parts of your body that are sending you a lot of sensation? Maybe it's your back feeling a little different. You're like me, maybe it's your toes that are touching the floor instead of the mat and feeling cool. Just noticing. And then when you're ready, we'll start to slide the fingertips toward the sides. Roll your shoulders back from the ears, anchoring the shoulder blades to the back. Inhale, curling the head up. And watch, lifting with the chin, try to reach through the top of the head, cobra. Exhale, press and shift the hips back toward the heels. Child pose, breathing into the back. Your choice, if the knees are together here, that gives your spine more support. For more space, you might glide in the knees. Breathing and settling into the shape. If you feel like this is a place you want to just stay and rest, do. Or if it's comfy, start to walk your hands up and over to one side. And then we'll sink the hips away from the hands. This helps open the side of the body. When you find an inhale, walk you back in towards center. And as you exhale, let's walk over to side two. Settle the hips back away from the hands. Breathing here into the shape. Now as you inhale, coming back to center, one more breath in regular child pose. And then with the inhale, we'll start to make our way toward all fours for cat and cow. So this is a place you might use a blanket to keep your knees comfortable. Just an option, not a requirement. And if your wrists or arms don't feel good in all fours, you can work from a seated shape to take a gentle arch and a gentle round. Or if it's comfy, as you find all fours, use the exhale to round the back up. The inhale to find a gentle arch. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. And starting to find your pace with your breath. Maybe noticing what parts of your back feel like they move with a lot of fluid. Like a really flexible movement. And what parts of the back feel a little stuck, like they move with a clunk. And then we'll take one more each way just to notice what range you have in cat and cows. Getting an idea about how much you move. And then we'll try a little experiment today. Take your right hand in a little closer to your right knee. And then bring that right knee forward a little bit too. So that right hand and knee are closer together than under the hip and shoulder like we normally set up. And try cat and cow here. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. Does this feel different? Does it feel like you can move more here? Maybe about the same or less? You can try one more each way. And then let's check the opposite side. Go ahead and bring the right knee and hands back in line, stacking wrist under the shoulder, knee under the hip. Take the left hand and left knee a little closer to each other. And try cat and cow here. And just notice, do they feel like there's more room, like there's less room? Do you have a lot more room on one side than the other? Just notice that. There's all kinds of reasons that can happen. But just notice what's true for you, what's for your body. And then bringing the hands and knees back to a nice square, all fours. We'll walk the hands forward to puppy stretch, settling the hips back. So similar to child pose, except the hips stay lifted a little here. Can you breathe when you're here? As you inhale, sliding hands back in, making your way toward all fours and giving the wrists a little attention, maybe bending gently to send the fingers to point back toward the knee on one hand. Switching sides when you're ready. You can also settle the hips back as you anchor the wrists down to get a little more length there if you like. And then we'll curl the toes in underneath. Inhaling your way toward a cow shape. Exhale, shift and lift. Downward facing dog. You can bend the knees as deep as you need here. Pedal in if you like, walking your way into the shape. Lengthening the back, trying to send the hips up and back. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And then with the exhale, settle the knees to the mat, sink the hips back to the heels, soften and breathe in child pose. And notice what parts of your body feel awake, alive, tight, open. Just notice how things feel in your body in this moment. And then when you're ready, no rush, no hurry. We'll start to make our way toward yogi's choice. So if you're happy here in child pose, that can be yogi's choice. You can just stay and rest. If cat and cow feel good, you might take those as a gentle flow. Or if you like a little bit more oomph, you might curl the toes under. Exhale to down dog. We have time for 3 vinyasa flows. Those are an inhale to plank, then exhale to knees, chest, and chin. And inhale to cobra. And then exhale back toward down dog. So that's an option if you'd like to flow or to be more gentle. You can stay and rest in child pose or take cat-cow. Your choice, just choosing what feels best. And whichever you choose, noticing your breath. Noticing the signals and messages that are coming from your body today. And eventually, when you're ready, we'll rush or hurry. We'll make our way back to meet in a seated shape. So if you're coming from all fours, you might press your way up to seated, and then bringing the legs to one side and around. You have a blanket or a block. You can tuck that in under the hips to give them a little lift. That can make it feel a little more comfy to sit on the mat. This is my comfy way to sit, but if it feels better for you to sit with legs long, that's perfectly fine too. Any comfy seat as you find the mat. Take a moment to arrive in seated, maybe with a little wiggle or shift. And then lengthening up through the top of the head. We'll start to give the shoulders a little attention. Inhale, lifting them up toward the ears. Exhale, sliding them back and down. As you inhale, they float up by the ears. Exhale, they slide back and down. One more, inhaling to lift the shoulders. Exhale to slide them back and down. Tucking the elbows by your ribs, turning the palms up. Inhale, open the thumbs back, trying to keep the elbows close. Exhale, a little crisscross in the arms. Inhale to open. Exhale to crisscross. This one's a nice help if you've been working at a computer, doing dishes or gardening, work in front of you. One more like this. Inhale and open, and then pause there and just breathe in that shape. It's also a useful shape if you've been feeling stressed out lately too. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take an inhale. Reach the fingertips all the way up. Let them float to hands over the head. Nice work. Exhale, settle the hands toward the heart, and we'll give the wrists a little attention. Just pressing the fingers toward one side and the other. You can stay with that if that feels good for your wrists. Or go ahead and clasp the hands together, and we'll draw a few little circles here. Maybe reversing direction. And then bringing the hands back together, see if it's comfortable to think of pressing the wrist down just a little lower. And be kind if it feels like it's jamming your wrists, let them float back up. Or if it feels like a good stretch, think of keeping the hands together, but just sinking them low. And then inhale, sweep them up tall. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward for a seated forward bend. And that might be just a couple inches forward, or you might be coming low toward the mat. Just breathing into your seated forward fold. And when you find an inhale, walking the hands back and towards center. Taking the fingertips back. Inhale, lift the collarbones up, maybe looking up if it's comfy, or let the chin find its way toward the chest. Next inhale brings you back towards center. Your legs are crossed, switch the leg that's crossed in the front. And taking a shift to rearrange and arrive here. And drawing the spine tall, lifting up through the top of the head. When you exhale, find a gentle twist to one side. Inhale, coming back towards center. Exhale, gentle twist to side two. Inhale, back towards center. Exhale, find a little twist to side one. Maybe we start to float the arm up in front, reaching toward the back of the neck. And letting it float down when you're ready. And inhale to center. Exhale, gentle twist to side two. We might stay like this, or we might float the front arm, reaching for the back of the neck. Exhaling it down. Inhaling back to center. One more twist each way. Use the exhale to take you over. Maybe we float the front arm again, reaching for the back of the neck. Exhaling it down. And inhaling back to center. Exhale, gentle twist side two. Maybe the front arm floats and reaches. Just watch the chin here too. Try not to let the chin lift, to keep it parallel to the mat. And releasing, inhaling back to center. Take an inhale to draw the spine tall, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold for seated forward. And this one might feel different, especially if you have the other leg in front. Again, we might be holding just a couple of inches. It doesn't make the pose better or worse how low you go. It's where you feel like you can comfortably breathe into the shape. When you find an inhale, gently draw it back to center. Send the fingertips back, and then next inhale lifts the collarbones up. Another great shape if we've been doing some work in front of us. So you might have the chin tucked to the chest, or you might be looking up if it feels comfy. Then coming back into center, see if anything else needs a little shift. And if it feels better to stay seated today, you're welcome to stay put just like this. We'll be moving towards some side bends next. So you can stay put just like this seated. And the side bends from seated will look like this, walking the fingertips over, reaching up and over. Feel free to try it out to see how they feel. Inhaling tall, exhaling up and over. So this is an option to stay here, to stay seated, to take the side bends. Or if it's comfy to work from all fours, you might make your way back here, maybe with your blanket. And we can try a little variation on cat pose called cat contemplating its tail. And we'll stretch the right leg back and then send the toes over to the left. Then try walking your hands over to the left. And that should draw some length to the right side of the body. You might look back at your foot. Can you breathe when you're here? Then walking the hands back towards center. Go ahead and float the heel and tuck the knee back in underneath. Inhale, press the left heel down. Taking the foot over to the right. Walking the hands now toward the right. Then we can stay and look at our foot. Drawing length to the left side of the body. And maybe noticing if one side feels really different than the other. Then releasing back towards center. Tucking the knee in underneath. We'll go one more each way. Send the right heel up and back. Toes to the left. Walk the hands over. Inhale back towards center. Floating the heel. Exhaling the knee down. Inhale, left heel lifts. Toes over to the right. Walking the hands if that's comfy. Taking a breath. Noticing what the difference is between the sides. And then inhaling, hands back to center. Exhale, tuck the knee in underneath. See if it feels better to go to child pose or to slide the hands forward for puppy. Breathing while you're here. And then when you're ready, no rush, no hurry. We'll work our way back toward all fours. Curling the toes in underneath. As you exhale, shift and lift the hips, downward facing dog. Pedal in, bend one knee and the other, rocking your way into this shape. And as you exhale, start to walk the feet forward so that we arrive in a forward bend at the top of the mat. Relax your neck, gentle nod yes or slow shake no. As you exhale, bend your knees, send your hips back behind. And inhale your way toward a chair pose, Utkatasana. Next inhale takes you all the way tall. And exhale, arms by the side for Tadasana. This is the first time you've been standing all class, so take a couple of steps, take a little shake. See how it feels to arrive in standing. And then just notice where the weight is pressing down through your feet. Does it go to the outsides of your feet or to the insides of your feet? See if you can find a place that feels balanced. If we're anchoring through all four corners of the feet. And then ground the feet down like you're trying to hold your mat on the floor to prevent someone from tugging it away out from under you. And we'll see what happens when we start to float that right heel back toward the hip. And just notice how balance is today. And you can rest a hand on a chair or the wall. Or if it feels good, we might start to draw the knee up toward the ribs and then send the heel back toward the hip. This is called a hip hinge. And just noticing how balance feels. Again, it's always okay to hold on to something. We'll try one more. And then the next time that those right toes are coming back behind you, see if you can stretch them toward the back of the mat. We'll arrive in a high lunge, taking a deep breath here. And just noticing what feels like it's working, looking to keep that front knee back behind our toes. As you exhale, hinge from the hips, fold it down to frame your foot. And then we'll spin the back toes to point out to the side. As you inhale, see if you can cartwheel up toward your warrior two. Nice work. Check in with the front knee. We want to keep it headed out over the toes. And then we'll find a little flow here. Inhaling to lift up. Exhale, rebend the left knee. Warrior two. Inhale to lift. Exhale to settle. Warrior two. One more. Inhale it up. Exhale to settle. Warrior two. Pause here. Find a little length. It's okay to come out of it if it doesn't feel good. Or if it's comfy, let the left arm float down toward the thigh. Try not to push on it. As the right arm reaches up and over for extended side angle. One long line through the side body. Can you breathe when you're here? Exhale, cartwheel the arm down. Frame your foot. And then we can slide or step back to either all fours to be gentle or to a high plank if you'd like a little oomph. Take a breath, hugging belly button to spine. And then exhale, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Yogi's choice, you can stay here and rest. You can bring the knees to the mat and soften down in child pose. Or if you're craving 3 vinyasa flows, you can flow to plank, knees, chest, chin, cobra, and then down dog. You pick. You know what we're headed toward for side two. So see if it feels best to rest. If you'd like to flow and keep things warm. Or if there's just something else your body's craving. No rush, no hurry. Take your time. When you're ready, we'll start to make our way back toward all fours to meet. No rush to get there. Curling the toes in underneath. As you exhale, shift and lift, downward facing dog. Pedal in, bend one knee and the other. And as we exhale, we'll start to step, walk, or hop. Top of the mat, forward. Relax the neck. Now as you exhale, bend the knees, send the hips back behind. Inhale your way toward chair pose, Utkatasana. And let the next inhale take it all the way tall. And exhale down, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a couple steps. See if anything needs a little shake or shrug as you arrive here. Ground evenly through the feet. Anchoring all 4 points down. Knees are soft. Reaching up tall from the crown of the head. And then weight comes to the right foot now. Take the left heel toward the hip and see how it balances. It's always okay to hold something. Or try taking the knee toward the wrist. Heel toward the hip. Exhale, knee toward wrist. Inhale, heel toward hip. Let's take one more each way again. Always okay to hold on to something if you need to. And then let's explore reaching back through the toes. Reaching to find our high lunge. Nice work. A deep breath here when you arrive. Checking in to make sure the front knee stays behind the toes. Finding length. As you exhale, hold from the hips. Frame the front foot. Then spin the back toes to point out toward the left. And I'm going to change my feet so I can see a little better here. As you inhale, curl the arms up, finding your warrior two. Check to make sure that right knee and right toe still point forward. And then we'll inhale, lengthening the front leg. Exhale, bend the knees, settle back into the shape. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, sink and settle. One more each way. And we might stay here, we might just hold warrior two. Or we can tuck the forearm toward the thigh, trying not to lean on it if possible. And let that left arm reach up and over, extended side angle. And you breathe while you're here, thinking of one long line through the left side of the body. Noticing if it's really different from one side to the other. As you exhale, cartwheel the palm down, frame your foot. And then you can slide back to all fours or step back for a high plank. One breath here. Exhale, shift and lift. Downward facing dog. Yogi's choice. Keep it gentle. Bring your knees to the mat and rest. And take 3 vinyasa flows if you like. Or if there's another pose you'd like to practice, take the time to go there now. Listening to your body and finding what it would like to move toward today. Noticing your breath as you do too. The breath stays deep and in motion. No rush, no hurry. When you're ready, we'll start to make our way back to meet in seated. Bringing the hips down to the mat or maybe to a blanket. So while we were upright, while we were standing, we were drawing some length toward the inner seams of the leg. And next we're going to do some work focusing on the shoulders and the upper body. But there's an option here to keep drawing length to the inner seam of the leg too. So you can just sit any way that's comfy if that feels best. Or if you'd like to add in a little length here, we'll tuck, I'll mirror you, we'll tuck the left heel in and let that right leg lengthen out toward the side. Take a little shift or wiggle here to draw the spine tall. And then we'll open the arms out wide to the side. As you exhale, bring them forward and stack one elbow above the other. You can pick which one. You might just take the back of the hands toward each other. Or if it's comfortable, to bring them around so the palms touch. Those are eagle arms, Garudasana arms. We'll try to give them a little lift, moving the elbows away from the ribs and the thumbs away from the forehead. And we can just sit here if it feels like that's a lot. We can back off the arms at any point if you need. Or we might try first tipping away from that right leg, tipping a little over to the left. And then coming back up to center. And then see how it would feel to tip to the right, tipping toward the leg. And coming back up to center. Now if your shoulders get grumpy, you can release the arms at any point. Or we'll try and exhale to the side. And an inhale to center. One more, exhale to the side. And inhale to center. And then we'll turn the torso toward the leg. And you can let that left foot come in close if you like. Release the arms if you need. Or exhale, fold from the hips now, starting to sink toward the foot. And you can stay here or just let the arms go when you're ready. Taking a breath in the shape. And if your shoulders are up for just a little bit more, reach forward through the left arm. And then reach that left arm toward the back of the neck. And reaching the right arm back. We might find a little bit of cow face arms here. Your hands can clasp. Mine don't, but yours might, so go ahead and clasp if they do. Or just press the hands to the back, drawing the elbows apart. And then we'll inhale it up to center. Release the arms down. See if the shoulders could use a little roll or shrug or shake. That shoulder shimmy actually helps move a lot of the synovial fluid through the joint. And just notice how your legs feel, notice how your back feels here. And then before we go to side two, we'll take a moment just to bring the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Finding a little length through the spine. Breathing while you're here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and explore sending that left leg out to the side. And it's fine, again, just to focus on the legs, or to skip the legs and focus on the arms. Or we'll inhale the arms out wide, exhale, finding those eagle arms and trying to stack the other elbow on the bottom. Now, it's okay to just bring the back of the hands together. Maybe we wrap them around, the palms touch. And then again, we're looking to create space, letting the elbows lift from the ribs and the thumbs move away from the head. And we might just stay here, or we might explore how it feels to tip away from the long leg. And then inhale back to center. And to exhale to tip toward the long leg. And inhale back to center. One more each way if it's comfy. Exhale to tilt. Inhale to center. And it's always okay to let go of the arms if they don't feel comfy. Or go ahead and we'll start to turn the hips now toward the left leg. You can let that right foot come in, the hips now head toward the leg. As you exhale, fold from the hips, folding into the shape. And you can stay put just like this if it feels good. Or when you're ready, release the arms. And you can stay here and soften. Or if you'd like to add in what we did on side one, reach that right arm up toward the back of the neck. Left arm down and around for cow face arms. Now your hands might clasp on one side and not the other. That's okay. We're breathing when we're here. No rush, no hurry. As you find an inhale, bring it back up towards center. Exhale, release the arms. See if the shoulders need a shrug or a shake. And then your choice. You might just take a pause here and notice how things feel. Or if you can tell something needs to move, listen to that. Whether you're pausing or moving, eventually we'll meet back in Baddha Konasana, bottoms of the feet together, knees dropping down, spine tall. Breathing here and noticing how things feel. So those shapes help to bring a little bit more length, both to the shoulder girdle and through the arms. You might have felt the forearms, especially holding eagle. So take a moment now, sitting in any comfortable shape, and we'll give the arms just a little bit of attention here. So this is funny, but it can be really helpful if you have grumpy wrists or grumpy shoulders. Pick one forearm and go ahead and just give it a few little squeezes. The forearms are a place we often don't do a whole lot of stretching with, but they can harbor a lot of tension. The two bones in the forearm, the radius and the ulna, they have to cross and open depending on what we're doing with our arm. And there's some really dense fascia in between them that can get kind of stuck. So if you turn your palm up, those two bones are parallel to each other. And then if you held your biceps and turned your palm down, they would crisscross. So when the palm's up and they're open, you might even try to use your thumb to see if you could find a little space in between those bones. And just be gentle. Sometimes working on our own body, we can get a little bit aggressive. So just be kind to yourself here. But giving a few little squeezes and maybe working with the thumb if comfortable in between those bones. If you have a tennis ball handy, yes, please feel free to use it too. Otherwise, next week's class, we're doing a little more with the upper body and the tennis ball. And then when that arm feels like it's had enough attention, just draw a couple little circles around the wrist. And give that arm a little stretch and squeeze before we switch sides. That helps the lymph fluid to move back toward the center of the body. And then taking side 2, and see how side 2 feels different. Just like we're right-handed or left-handed, sometimes one arm can feel really different than the other. One is like Popeye's arm, and I just see someone else hopping back in here. There we go. So same thing. When the palm is turned up, those two bones are parallel to each other. So working here, and again, you might find this arm feels totally different. Feel free to compare and contrast. And just giving some squeezes of the muscle. And then maybe working with the thumb here to see if you can feel that space in between the bones. And just being gentle with it. But this kind of work, this is called self-massage or self-myofascial release. And this can help to free up some of the places where your connective tissue, your fascia gets stuck. So giving a little attention here. And then when it feels like that arm is catching up to the other, again, no rush if this one needs more attention. Just gently draw a few circles around the wrist. And then we'll take that arm and stretch and squeeze through the hand to help that lymph fluid move back toward the center of the body. And then let your hands rest in any comfy shape. That might be palm down if it feels like grounding is helpful today, or palm up if you need a sense of openness. And just let the hands rest wherever they're comfy and notice how your arms feel. And if you notice your back or something else is grumpy, it's okay to take a little shift. And just notice how the arms feel. Maybe they feel more warm or tingly or awake. And then when you're ready, no rush, no hurry, we'll start to make our way down toward the back on the mat. Now you can hold one leg to gently roll down. If you'd like a little challenge, you might float your feet. Draw the belly button in close and see if you can come down long and low, nice and slow down to the mat. When you get there, if you just want to take Shavasana, go right ahead. Or you might bend the knees and give them a little rock side to side. And then we'll visit reclined pigeon here to get a little attention to those hip rotators. Resting the ankle of one foot on the opposite thigh. And maybe we start to lift and draw that knee in toward the belly. Finding a little rock can be helpful to release the muscle. Notice if you can breathe toward your belly when you're here. Then you might stretch the leg up if that feels comfy, giving the opposite ankle a little motion. But if you find that stretching the leg up steals the stretch from the hip, it's okay to keep that knee bent too. And breathing when you're here. And staying with the shape if it feels good and helpful. Or if you want to give the legs just a little more of a pretzel-y shape, you'll slide whichever ankle's resting on the other leg, just slide that leg over to cross the legs. And then you might see if you can connect with your feet for reclined cow face pose. So the knees are stacked on top of each other. And you can find a little rock here. You can tip the knees close. Or you can try tipping them away to notice what changes. And breathing when you're here. When you're ready, no rush or hurry, maybe returning to that same reclined pigeon pose just by sliding that knee out to the side. Noticing if it feels different. And then when you're ready, let the foot find the mat. We'll take the heels toward the hips, the elbows to the ribs. Use an inhale to lift the hips for bridge pose. Taking a breath. And when you exhale, settle hips to the mat. Take a pause. Notice what's different from one side to the other. And when you're ready, we'll take ankle to the top of the thigh on side 2. Maybe this side, the foot stays on the mat. Or if it's comfy, we'll draw the knee toward the ribs. Finding a gentle rock. And you can stay put just like this if it feels good and helpful. You can reach the leg up long if that feels helpful, maybe even giving the ankle a little motion. Breathing when you're here. And maybe we stay here, or maybe we slide that leg over to cross the legs. And then see if we can connect with the feet for reclined cow face pose on side 2. In Sanskrit, it's Supta Gomukhasana. And your choice, you can bring the knees in close, you can send them out of the way, you can play with the heels moving away or close. And just exploring that shape, breathing when you're here. And feel free to stay in it longer, or maybe release the feet and slide the knee to the side to come back into reclined pigeon when you're ready. And taking a breath, noticing how that shape might feel different. And then gently floating the feet to the mat, one and the other. Heels tuck in toward the hips. Elbows by the ribs. Use an inhale to take a bridge pose. Staying in bridge a little longer if you like. Or when you're ready, hips sink to the mat and we'll prepare to set up for Shavasana. And if your low back's been tight or tired, keep your knees bent. You can turn the palms up if it's comfy. Or we can reach the arms across the body for constructive resting pose. Or if it's comfy to take regular Shavasana, you can lengthen the legs out long and turn the palms up. These next few minutes are a chance for you to just rest and soak in all the benefits from today's practice. So finding whatever shape is comfy, feel free if you have a blanket to add your blanket to the shape. Wiggle around if you need, if there's anything else that needs motion. And then just take these next few minutes to rest. I'll hold the space for you. I'll keep an eye on the time. See if you can give yourself a chance to do nothing but breathe. If you're able to stay here longer, please do. Take a nice long Shavasana. Or when you're ready, you might start to bring motion back by wiggling the fingers and toes. See if it feels good to stretch the arms or to bend the knees. Maybe making your way over to rest on one side or the other. Noticing your breath there. Maybe making your way up towards seated when you're ready. No rush or hurry to get there. And taking a little shift or shrug of the shoulders. And reaching up long through the crown of the head. Take an inhale, bringing fingertips up. And an exhale, settling hands to the heart. And thank you all for taking the time to come and practice today. It's such a pleasure to see you here. And namaste. Especially on a beautiful day. Thank you for taking the time to show up here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll have the same link, same time, same place for next week.